Time in Britain is 12 noon. In Germany it's 1 p.m. But at home and away, once again, it's time for two-way family favourites.
Hang on a minute, it's not 12 o'clock, it's only 11 o'clock, and it's time for the Greyhound morning line.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Greyhound Morning Line. I'm Tim Liggins and we'll be steering you through today's programme, which we've shortened a little to make it more of a sprint than the marathon of previous editions. So let's get going and start with a review of last week's racing at Towcester, and we'll be covering races 1 to 6. So first off, we review race 1 and the excellent performance by Optimism out of trap 3. Optimism won at a handsome 7-2 in a time of 16.5 seconds, and Coulibaly Messi, the reserve in trap 5, completed the 3-5 forecast at a healthy 32.17 seconds.
Off and racing 3 gets away nicely, as does the 5. 3 leading the way in the early stages. 5, 6, 1, 4 and 2 is the order. They've got one bend left to go and 3 is still out in front. 3 Optimism leads the way and 3 is going to head for home here. It's minor money for the others. 3 you winner. 5.
The second race was won by Ivy Hill's Sky High, the evens favourite in an impressive 29.60, beating Miss Brentford, which was Karen's selection, into second, a 3-2 forecast. Race 3 was won by Jim's selection Sheldon in 29.81, beating Make It Gertrude, the 8-11 on favourite, into second place. In race 4, 10 Bags Jack, the 8-11 on favourite, did get his head in front and beat Blue Mischief, the 6-1 entry, making it a 3-5 forecast and proving at the moment that trap 3 is certainly the trap to be on. Unfortunately, race 5 was a void race when the hare decided to take a bit of a breather on the third bend. So we'll move on straightly to our final race, which was the 7.19 event, won at 11-4 by Aero Madrid in trap 5. Now we're going to move on and see the selections today from Karen Johnson, our social kennel maid. Karen.
Yes, my selections at Towcester this afternoon are race 1, trap 2, Wink Whoosh. Race 2, trap 1, Ballymac Pebbles. Race 3, trap 4, Tufty's Luther. Race 4, Trap 3, Cougar Kira. Race 5, Trap 4, Koulavani Messi. And race 6, Trap 4, Bokos Boss. My nap for this afternoon is in race 1, Trap 2, Wink Whoosh. And my next best would be race 2, Trap 1, Ballymac Pebbles.
Sounds good to me, that does, Karen. A good bit of selecting, may I say. Karen, so what's been happening on the social kennel scene? Any news?
Yes, over in the social kennel this week, we've been launching our Instagram and Twitter accounts. We've already had some nice follows from Greencroft Kennels, Steve Rayner, and the Greyhound Trust, who do a fantastic job caring for the retired greyhounds and finding them their forever homes. So what we'd like to do is welcome everybody into the social kennel. Join us on Twitter at Our Social Kennel, and on Instagram, the Greyhound Morning Line. What we'd like is for everyone to give us, just a little bit of chat about the greyhounds, send in any pictures that you may have of greyhounds, and it's all about interacting and having a little bit of fun.
That is fantastic, Karen. Thanks for those words, and let's hope lots of people will join us in the kennel. The social kennel, that is. Well, we'd have to be social the size of the kennel is at the moment, but let's hope we can enlarge it or put an extension on or something. That would be good.
That's right. We're happy to accommodate everyone, and we can even provide masks if needed.
Oh, yes, they'll be important, won't they? And yes, a bit of social distancing in the kennel as well, if you don't mind. Lovely. Thanks for that, Karen. You have a good day, and speak to you again soon. Steve, are you there? Excuse us troubling you, but I did notice on the card for this afternoon, race 8 has got Lemming Edith running again. I just wondered if you got some thoughts to tell to our viewer.
Yeah, well, my thoughts are, since when she was at Harlow, it really didn't suit her. And since the lockdown, she's had that kennel move from Harlow to Mac Dartnell at Towcester. And I'm not just saying this, I've been in dogs a long time. She is a different bitch. She comes from a decent litter. Paul Young's got a couple of the other dogs that are running. Well, her little sister won the Romford Puppy Cup, the big competition at Romford.
Wow.
So I think little Edith's got a bit of staying ability, and I think the 500 suits her. And last week, well, that was a bit of a shock, I'll be honest. And
nice shock.
Yeah, and a big price. That's what we want. But she pinged out and got the rows and pulled away. Very impressed. Now she's gone up 2 grades since last week, and I had a brief chat with Andy, and we had a little chuckle. But I don't think with sort of match fitness, I don't think she's got to do too much to improve. I think there's obviously a couple of better class dogs in the race, and I think she could go well again. Bitching, what do you say? Bitching form,
Well, that's right. I'm looking at the times. I mean, she's up with them even on the A5 time, really, last time. So.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think on a time previous week, 29:76, whatever it was, calculated 30 fast. I mean, that's phenomenal. And if she can prove on that, I think she could go in again. But listen, she's got to do it. And it's only a second race, and she felt it last week. She knew she'd been in a race, but she's had 2-week break. Matt has done done what he's done with her at the kennels, and she's ready to go. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, fingers crossed it should be. And thanks for letting us interrupt your drive wherever you're heading, and enjoy and keep the social distancing.
No,
and hopefully we'll catch up on the track sometime.
Yeah, good man. All the best, Tim.
Bless you, Steve. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Okay, so Jim takes Boomers then. We start off in race 2. We go for trap 2, Ivy Hill Sky High. We then move on to race 3, trap 6, Passing Stranger. And my final selection in my top 3 is race 7, trap 5, Fit for Racing. Well, we start off in race 2. Ivy Hill Sky High did the fastest time of the week last week, and I'm expecting the Greyhound to do the same again. Now, it should get a good run to the bend, and it should show its electric pace again down that back straight, and I can't see anything else catching it. So, race 2, trap 2 for me. We then move on to race 3, trap 6, Passing Stranger. Not the best of breakers, but it has been downgraded and it's got the quickest time. So I'm hoping that the downgrade will do it well and it will run on to victory. And my final one in the top 3 is race 7, trap 5, Fit for Racing. Very decent dog. It's been trialling here at Towcester, and it's a progressive greyhound. I'm expecting this to probably not lead, probably be second, third at that first bend, but again I think it should run on very well and have a very decent chance of winning. Now I've also got 2 other bets just to have a little look at. Race 4, trap 4, Curzon. Expecting this to be a big price, around about 5 or 6 to 1, so maybe worth a little go there. And in race 8, trap 6, Our Dog Jacko, another one that should have a great chance. Well, that's my Jim Tate Boomers, and you'll also see to the left of me are my Jim's Always forecasts, and just above me my R38 challenge tips. Now if you fancy a challenge, get over to trap 9 and leave your selections for races 3 to 8, and we'll see who wins the challenge for the evening. So I hope you enjoyed my Jim Tate's Boomers, and whatever you're on, be lucky.
Today's trainer talk is with Lawrence Tuffin, and I started by asking Lawrence how he was getting on at Towcester and what his thoughts were after the first 2 weeks' meetings.
Yeah, I think it's, on the whole, it's gone okay. I did think last week there seemed to be a bias towards the inside runners. The wide dogs seemed to be struggling a bit, and that was a bit of the problem with the original track. But as I say, with it only being 2 meetings, I think you'll need a little bit more time to weigh up the pros and cons. But the wides definitely seemed to struggle last week for me.
Right. And is there anything they can do about that then? Is there any tricks they can work?
Well, there's only, probably, whether there was more water on the inside, whether the outside of the track dried quicker than the inside. Those sort of things, you hope the ground can, the ground staff and that can make them things better. But, it did seem to, the dogs seem to come in at the bends from the outside. They seem to come in a bit, and they do come in a bit when they come round the last couple of bends. But, they're not disappearing off the track, so to speak, but definitely seemed an advantage for the inside runners.
Yeah, well, let's see how it pans out
I think
today.
after a few weeks, I think once you've had a few months down the line and, the weather's been ever so dry and, I can remember being at Monmore and in dry weather, the wide runners seem to struggle at Monmore. If they got plenty of natural rain to water the track, the wide runners at Monmore had were on a level playing field. If it'd been dry, the water used to just run off and your wide runners would struggle. So, it's a bit early to tell. We'll obviously see how it...
so we'll watch this space. And runners today, Lawrence, anything we should be keeping an eye out for? Our viewer?
Well, Tufty's Delboy's been running ever so well. He won the first week here. Just got beat at Shorthead last week. A little bit tougher race today. Some very good dogs in there. I think the one dog's a massive price on the Side-As dog of Matt Dartnell's. I can't understand why that's 6 to 1 and we're sort of 15 to 8 favourite. I'm not quite sure who's priced that up, but he'll be there or thereabouts. Tufty's Tony was in front and looked like he got the race won last week when they had to stop the hare.
Yes, I saw that. Was that was because it's difficult to see just watching these bookmaker TV transmissions, but it just the hair packed up, did it? That was the end of it.
No. A couple of dogs got knocked over at the first bend, and I think one of them had turned round and started heading back in the opposite direction, or had jumped over it, or one had jumped over in the middle. No. I'm fairly certain something had jumped over in the middle and was hurtling back towards the dogs, so they had to stop the hare for safety reasons.
Yeah.
So, but he looked all over. He looked all over a winner. So
a winner without a penalty or something.
Correct, something like that. Yeah.
Oh well, fingers crossed for today then, Lawrence. And
thank you.
Thanks for your time on this, and hopefully at some stage we'll get up to see what's going on.
Yeah, I think they'll start relinquishing things. I think a bit next. I think they're talking next week or the week after.
Yeah,
so we're interested to see.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway. Lovely. Yeah. Well, you have a good day then, Lawrence, and thanks for taking the call.
No worries. All right, mate. Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Now it's time for what we hope will be a regular weekly slot on the show, the Barry Coombs interview. And we tracked Barry down again. I think he was mobile in his car, and we asked him, what's it all about with the Cockney rhyming slang, Barry?
Crook used to be on TV doing these bits and bobs. He would go carpet, but that's 3 to 1, and then double carpet was 33 to 1. But when I used to do my race night, I was taught tic-tac by one of a knowledgeable man in the industry, and I used to do auctions using tic-tac, and I would only let the audience bid to me in tic-tac. So during the course of the evening, I taught them the tic-tac by all the sign languages, and they loved that as well. They loved learning
That sounds
tic-tac.
Good.
Yeah,
definitely.
So I've got them to count up to 20 in tic-tac, and then 25 is a gesture, then a big circle, that's 100, top of the head, and then I think it's just really, really good. So, we went right up the arm with the wrists, fingers, tips, and all that, elbow, and it's really good. So that was it. So, well, here ends my lesson.
Barry, that's a good start. That's a good start on the week then. I'll edit that bit down. We'll get on to Barry's Cockney rhyming slang, and then
give me more than a 2-minute notice next time, will you?
No, we'll write it all down. Well, while you're sitting waiting for your blood results, get yourself a little notepad and scribble them down. And now here's a message from Karen, our social kennel maid, about a competition that we hope we can run on the show next week. Karen.
Here at the Social Media Kennel, we're going to be launching our Barking Mad competition, where the aim is to pick 6 losing dogs, and then the person with the lowest points will be in for a prize. Well,
we're nearly at the end of the show, but before we go, I would just like to give a plug for greyhoundstats.co.uk. It really does have an awful lot of statistical greyhound information based on many years of hard work and data entry. For Towcester, for example, you can see the top 10 trainers based on number of winners and their form, and also you can see the percentages of winning traps and what percentage of favourites are winning. And it's not just Towcester. Here you can see all the UK greyhound tracks, including some that are long since gone, but the statistical information is still there and available for you to view. So I'd highly recommend you take a look at greyhoundstats.co.uk for access to all historical greyhound race information. And last but not least, it's a plug for talent. Yes, if you have a fancy a go at being a presenter or tipster or pundit around greyhound racing, then do please think about joining us here at the Greyhound Racing Morning Line. It's so easy to get involved. As you can see earlier with Karen and Jim, they just connect with their phones and suddenly they're involved in the programme. I'm here just temporarily, filling in till we can find the right talent to front the programme, and then I can go back working behind the scenes, which is much more my preference. Anyway, that's the plug. Hopefully see you next week, and don't forget to use our Facebook social media platform for putting all your comments and suggestions. We value everyone. So it's bye for now from the Greyhound Morning Line, and good luck with whatever you are on this afternoon. Bye bye.